socials. Welcome back to the Vision Guys. Entertainment news, ramble on, talking absolute shit podcast where life's just mental, mate. Life's just fucking mental.
Life's just chicken oriental.
I was going to say that. I was going to say the thingy, but I don't know if that's a racism or not.
Why is that a racism?
I don't know, because it's mental, chicken oriental. And I don't know this day and age.
No, I've been saying it for years.
I say it for years as well. It's one of them things you say and you're like, oh, I don't know if that is anymore. To me, it's not, but
It's not to me.
I'm just a casual bald white guy where twice in a week I've been called Eddie Hall, which is just mental because Eddie Hall's like a big, strong bastard. I take it because, you know, fair enough, he's a big unit, but
He is.
He's looks fat, but it's not. It's like fat muscle thing, whereas I'm just fat. I ain't going around lifting them tyres and shit like that and whatnot.
You can give it a go.
Ah, fuck that. The one that always makes me feel sick, and I don't know why, is when they hit the sledgehammer on the tyres. That always, when people are doing training videos and shit, it always makes me feel gammy as fuck. I've just seen your eyes, you look tired as fuck, it just made me feel pure tired. Chris,
I'm tired, but you look tired.
yeah, it's like, you know what, I'm not to yawn, but you know when somebody yawns and you're like, oh fuck, and then because your yawns are contagious or whatever. Oh, so you probably yawn. Ah, there you go. Something pure terrifying happened. I was meant to tell you last week. I was going to tell you last week, and it was fucking bizarre. And it shouldn't have been.
To you?
Name, just top of your head, name things that should never, ever, or will ever be frightening. Just see if you can randomly say it. What I'm thinking of.
Well, it depends on the situation and depend on if you're a girl or a boy.
I don't think it matters. The thing I'm thinking of, just things that shouldn't be like fucking. I don't know.
Butterfly. Even though some people are afraid of butterflies, and then some of them are.
No butterflies, sir.
I don't know.
A delicious treat. I'll give that as a clue.
A delicious
treat. A delicious sweet treat.
I don't know. Cadbury.
I mean, there's Cadbury ones, yeah.
No. M&M.
Usually get delivered by somebody with a jingle.
Santa.
No, not quite.
Rudolph.
It's usually when it's when it's boiling. Somebody would deliver these with a little jingle.
What?
So a certain type of vehicle would usually come around and give you these.
All right, an ice cream.
An ice cream van.
An ice cream van.
Yeah. You shouldn't be
scared of ice cream vans.
Well, oddly, yeah.
Why?
I never used to be or anything, but right, okay. So I know it's been a little bit warmer and shit around UK, yeah. But I'm sat chilling in bed after back shifts, you know, sometimes getting in or whatever, and twice last week, an ice cream van at about 11-ish was coming down the street with a jingle and that on. And it was fucking oddly unsettling. So, because I'm sat there, you've been at work, whatever, you chilled out in bed, and you can hear the coming down, thinking, what the fuck is the time? You thought, okay, maybe somebody round here's bought one or whatever, they've accidentally put it on. And it happened again. But like, because you can see the light, obviously I've just got my TV on, I'm chilling in bed, you can just sort of see my window getting lit up by it. And it was proper unsettling, because then I just thought, what kind of ice cream van's going around at 11 o'clock at night, playing the jingle, when it's, you know, it's cold on the night.
Yeah, and it's midweek.
Midweek.
So kids are going to be in bed.
I just thought, is this some guy, like, is this like a Pennywise driving it where kids, I couldn't even look at the window out of it because I actually got like, that's fucking, it's just, when you're chilling in bed at that time, you don't expect to hear the jingle of it coming down. It was fucking unsettling. It's fucking, like I said, when it happened twice, I thought, nah, I'm not doing this. This is fucked up and weird. So yeah, new fear unlocked with ice cream vans.
Ice cream vans after 9 o'clock are a new fear.
Well, do you not think it's deeply unsettling? Like, that just has loads of red flags.
I don't know. Fair, I don't even know if there's an ice cream van round Brampton.
Here we go. Sorry, once again, the demon child come and dropped off washing. But yeah, so it was just deeply unsettling, and I didn't like it. So what the fuck? Oh, I thought it's come back in. What the fuck is your problem?
You're doing it, out cretin.
Oh, this is gonna open. Why do I want your shoes? Here you go, open the cupboard. You have the straightest posture I've ever seen in a person. You know what that back is.
Alright.
What the fuck?
You little idiot.
Hasn't done any graft.
You are a fucking stick, like. You're
I
walking.
drink this.
Do we need to pause again?
You're walking.
What is that? Yes.
What are you
Fucking.
doing?
He is so skinny.
He is.
Honestly, looks like he's like a fucking Oliver Twist type shit. This is why the ice cream man's coming out this late at night because fucking kids are walking around feeble as fuck. Look at what you want 99.
But they're not even 99 pence, no, like fucking a tenner.
I always find that probably mad because the one last summer there was one coming around my work and I would still ask for a 99. I'm like, yeah, £3.40 please. And I'm like, huh, okay. It takes you off by surprise a little bit. Going up to it's cheap as fuck or whatever, but it's not 99 anymore. It's the same. Did you see there was a documentary released on products and how they find ways to get smaller without us realising throughout the years?
You kind of know.
It's just it was a proper fascinating watch of how they do it. Like, did you know every 2 years they take a Dorito out of the bag as it's been going? So there's been one Dorito less like every 2 years or some shit, stuff like that. And like, you know, you'll have a bottle of like fairy washed up liquid, but they'll do stuff like, you know, the bend in the bottom, but they'll make it massive. So when it's on the shelf like that, you can't tell.
Yeah.
But there's really a massive like thing at the bottom, so they can get less in it.
I noticed that in some chocolates not long ago, actually, where at one point they were a pack of 10 a certain size, and now you only get them as a pack of 9 with a smaller size.
Yeah,
But the price has gone up.
Yeah, you're getting less, but the price is going up.
I know.
It's fucking bizarre. And like I said, I watched a video about how much, you know, they can make when they charge it for this less, and the company can make this much, and they're still making shitloads, and we're fucking forking out on more. And they can, if they imagine like 20, look, it's writing about products. In like 20 years' time, a dairy milk for like 2 bars, and it'll be like a 5, and you'll be like,
Will it be?
it's very much worth it. It's very much.
Very much.
It's yeah, I do. Can't really watch a documentary on product sizes getting smaller. It's like that weird trick they do in What Is Your Problem?
I throw them back
Jesus Christ.
because Dad can't find his house keys in his.
Haha, right, okay, we'll pause again. Well, I don't know what, yeah. When supermarkets, sorry, this is probably horrible ear rape. When they change the layout of the shop so people get all baffled in that. Every now and then, like Asda's and Tesco's, they change the layouts a little bit.
I don't do shopping. I just do mine online now.
Like I did my fag shopping last week
Yeah,
online.
yeah.
I didn't do that again. I'll never ever fucking the look on the woman's face when she handed me 5 packets of fags and there's Asda between us and she's looking like, why have you done this? I just wanted to get in and get them dropped off. I couldn't be asked going to the shop and that. Fuck me. There's something I want to bring up to you, but I can't because you haven't watched Adolescence yet. But I really want to speak about it because it's I think I can say this bit without spoiling. The show itself, to be fair though, what do you know about the show Adolescence before I carry on?
Well, what I got the premise of it off you and what I've seen snippets of it, some young lad gets arrested for a murder of some girl, and then a lot of drama unfolds. That's all I got. That's all I know.
Right, okay. Because there's something which I was fascinated on when the show starts to how it ends. There's a question you ask usually when it's murder related stuff. But I think everybody watching, and then you realise sort of halfway through you're asking the wrong question. Okay, there's a word that's used in the show called incel.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of that?
No, I was about to ask you, what does incel mean?
Right, I'm going to do a pure dad old man version
Do
of.
I Google this?
I mean, you might wanna.
Incel
I don't know if it's one word or what.
meaning.
It's like there's
A member of an online community of a young men who consider themselves unable to attract woman sexuality. Okay.
It's all to do with like stuff like a bloke, because they can't go out and get women, they just sort of go out and, you know, forcefully do it all. Like younger lads, I don't know if it's like teenagers or what. It's what, so like
I like what the Jippos do.
that grabbing thing.
Yeah.
I'd know because I think that's like a traditional
I know it's
thing.
their tribe fucking traditional thing.
Yeah.
Like, but it's something like that.
It's again. I'm going to do an old man explanation. So say me and you were in school, and I'm like, I'm the lad, I'm popular and all this kind of shit, and you're somebody that's like just sit there shy, and you're not going to get girls, and everyone go, oh,
you're tougher, and I'm John B.
Yeah, John B can get all the girls.
Well, yeah, he can.
He can get all the girls. But like, so you'd be like, you're an incel, you're never going to get girls, you're always going to be a virgin, or we're going to bully you for never getting girls.
Right.
So you would then go to like this group of like men that would go out and just sort of like, well, if I can't get girls, like the thing, I'll just make sure I can get them, sort of kind of thing. Like I'll just
in what way?
Like in whatever way the fucking want. Like you're an incel. The only way you'll get a girl is if you attack them or you force them to.
Okay.
And that's what I mean. It's this new. That's why the show, without going into too much detail, why it's such a huge talking point at the end, because there's this barrier between us and the younger generation of all this shit that we cannot cope. There's another thing called 80-20 in the show as well. Like kids keep ripping each other like, oh, you're 80-20, where it's like 20%, 80% of women find 20% of men attractive, and like, oh, you might be part of the 80% that the girls don't find attractive and shit. Mm-hmm. And it's all to do with this sort of like popularity, can I get girls, all this kind of stuff. There's an amazing episode where it's all set on this like one table, and it's talking back and forth about how the young lad feels about women and certain all this kind of shit, and what he finds sexually attractive and that, and it's
a weird thing to ask.
No, when you watch the structure of the whole show, because obviously at that time she's a psychiatrist, and it's like 7 months after the incident of the young girlie getting killed, and there's reasons why she's asking him and all this kind of stuff. But there's psychologically the generation below us. Which they have got their ups as well, don't get us wrong. There are certain ups, that they're a bit more technologically savvy, and they have got their moments and shit. But there's definitely a massive psychological bit of damage being done because of online shit and stuff like that, and how actual harmful it should be, and how much as a society have we failed potentially younger generations, and that's all of us with certain ways. Again, I don't want to go into too much because.
Except we were lucky because we were like still young. Well, I'm saying me. I was still young before computers really came into it. So I had a childhood. I had to play and fucking fell trees and drank river water and all that shit.
Yeah, all the dumb, silly sort of. And it's all. I saw somebody with a video taking the piss, saying if you're a parent now and you say to your kids when they're going out, okay, make sure you don't go 20 yards in either direction, and make sure you stay here, and make sure all this kind of stuff. But then like back in like the 90s and all that kind of shit, like, oh dad, I'm going out. All right, I didn't ask. Just make sure you're back when the the lights, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it kind of felt. I know modern day times are a lot more dangerous than they were back then because of different kinds of factors, but it just. I feel like there's I don't know if this is the right way of saying it. I don't know if there's a mentally. If kids this day and age are more mentally weak. I think 100% that I think because. I see it sometimes at work with some young lads and whatnot, and there'll be a bit more of
That's like
there's a fucking little twat, shit like that. There seems to be a I've lost my train of thought here, like a mentally weak barrier of how easy it is to affect them mentally by just sort of, because like I said, a way that I bond with new lads at work, especially lads my age and shit, is by insulting and taking the piss and all this kind of shit.
Just take the phone off them while they're computer and they go fucking ape shit, don't they?
Yeah, but again, I don't want to shout at that because that's kind of what they're growing up with. That is their how they're growing up. My mates all speak with each other, and it's how I make my friends, all that kind of shit. I always got it with like I always say to the young boys at work that vapes. I don't understand why you vape. They were designed for not to help you stop smoking, all that kind of shit. But then it clicked, and it's like, well, that was their version of smoking. No, right. But that was so when we were on the fields, it was having a fag. Yeah. But it's because it was like this whole trend, and it's just like they only do it because all my mates were doing it, and it was to get into the cliques and all this kind of shit. And it just, I don't know, it's
Can I buy a 5 for 50p?
So yeah, all that kind of shit. Do you know what? As well, something else that I didn't realise what I miss. and this hasn't happened to me in fucking years. There's no kids. I mean, I guess it's kind of a good thing. There's no kids on the street corners asking you to go in shops anymore.
Nah.
Like, that's a dying... It hits you. I got a little bit weird about it. Like, oh my God, yeah, there's no one... Excuse me, mate, can you go in the shop and get some fags or whatever? There's none of that.
It's not like now.
And it's... I don't know, I just...
But if you're not thinking, though, kids nowadays, they look older.
100%.
Like, there's some
shadow of a
kids,
doubt.
like, I live near a school, and if I'm like just wandering down the road or coming back in from work or whatever, and kids walk past, and like they're in the school uniform, but they look fucking older.
Yeah,
than me.
they're tall as fuck. You'll see some that's in the air with stubble.
How old are you?
I completely get what you mean. I completely get it. Oh, I want to dive more into the show, but obviously, like I said, the show's not a spoiler. It's just when you finish it, you go. There's a moment where the police are trying to work some certain stuff out, and they don't. It's right in front of them, but they can't solve it because the language itself is different. They've got these images of Instagram stills, and they don't know what they're looking at. Like they think there's not there, but one of the young students mentions this is what the dialogue in the Instagram shit means. And they're like, oh, and it's like, oh my God, even police are failing to see certain shit because of even the language. It's like incel and 80-20 crack and whatnot. It's fucking... And like I said, when the show ends, you go, we need to ask a lot of questions here. It's fucking bizarre.
Is this the question you're asking now, or is it more?
No, I'll wait till you've watched the show. Like I said, I don't think you can spoil the show. It's not... Because you think it's who did it? Mystery. Was it really the boy? And that's not the question.
Yeah.
But you'll get there yourself. But it just sort of made me think, well, this is just absolutely bizarre, because I know for a fact... Well, I say if I was a kid now, it might be different. But like if I was younger, and I'm sat there running around with my Pokemon cards in my pocket, my dirty ripped jeans and my trousers, and just muddy as fuck, and somebody come up to me and went, you're an incel or whatever. It's like, I don't care. But saying shit like that is massively psychologically damaged, because especially if somebody says it to a kid online and all their mates see, then they become the laughing stock. And then, I saw a funny TikTok where Sarah was calling you an incel, Dave, and he's like, and then it all becomes this massive like thing, and it's overwhelming for them. Whereas a while ago, like we would just been like, we don't care. Like, it wouldn't have affected us mentally, but like I said, I see it sometimes with young lads when they come to work and they have to do a little bit of hard labour, and they go, why do we have to do this? I'm kind of thinking, like, when I started work, like my manager, if they told me to do something, I wouldn't have stopped doing it until they said stop doing it. But you'll see stuff at my spot where they'll come and say, can you do that for a bit? 2 minutes later, they're coming out on their phone and they're vaping, they're going, I can't be asked doing that. I'm thinking, hold on a sec. If I started a new job and a higher up told me to do something, I would not have moved until they told me to stop. But like this built-in like sort of righteous, like, I don't have to do that.
It's like what we were saying before, look. It's laziness. That's what it is.
There's an element of that, yeah.
People nowadays are just lazy. They want more money to do less shit.
And there was 100%. There's also, I'm in the wrong here, but it also pissed me off. Again, I've been at work before doing stupid long, like crazy hours. You've been there for, say, 7 hours, you're dying to stop and get your signings, but you can't because it's been work. And I've sat there making fucking tubs of mortar and concrete, trying to eat a cheese sign at the same time. And I'm thinking, you just got to troop on through because, it's our modern day trenches.
Yeah.
It's what we do. But then, like, there was one of the lads that come before, they'd been about an hour and a half, like, I'm starving, can I go stop to have something to eat and all this kind of shit. And we were fairly flat out running around doing shit. And I was thinking in my head, you are in the right to go and stop and eat. You're supposed to go stop and eat. But I was thinking, fuck, there'll be a time where I'm going to run and grab my sandwiches, I'll bring them up here, and I'll do my bit to grab a bite when I can.
You have to do. Like, say, I've had to do it. I've had to fucking drive constantly, fucking while eating and shit like that. I don't know. Obviously, I have to stop because it's the law. So I have
when on your break and shit, yeah.
But it all depends on what time I start and how long I'm held up for and stuff like that. I might not. Sometimes I won't get out to eat if I did leave it till then. So about like 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah,
and you kind of just sort of, I don't know, it's what, like I said, we are in the wrong because you should sit down when you're required to have your lunch and all that kind of shit. But I just kind of think, hang on a second, like, it feels like 2 minutes ago when I started my job that I'm doing now, and everybody would be in the thick of it together and just sort of, right, we'll just stop as and when we can, we'll just smash on through. And sort of when everything calmed down, you'd all sort of sit together and spark up a fag and have a coffee, and you'd be together all shattered and tired and minging and like, fuck me, what a day this has been. And,
Alright.
and it just kind of feels like now it's like, I don't know.
It's the same with this rest period. Obviously, again, with being a truck driver, I have to have a certain rest period, but obviously with some van, or being on a van, you don't. But by law, I'm saying you don't. By law, you do. But there's been occasions where when I was on the van, it's like you'd be finishing at midnight, you're back in at 6.
Yeah, you don't get your 12
It's
hours
11.
down? Is it 11 hours? Sorry, 11 hours downtime.
But yeah, there's one driver who will specifically say, I'm having 11 hours off, regardless of what time he finishes. He's having these 11 hours off.
Technically, he is right.
He is right. It is the law. You need 11 hours
But there's
off.
there's none of that just gritting it, saying, yes, this is horrible, I'm going to go in, get an hour to myself, 4 hours kip, then I'm back at it.
Yeah.
And just persevere because it's for the benefit of your like collective team kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of shit's just... And again, I know they're in the right because it's the law. You should look after yourself, because your job's not going to look after you. But the way I always saw it, especially where I work, it's you're not doing it for the company. You're doing it for the team. Like I always refer to as in the trench, the people you're in the trenches with.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, he's coming with hardly any kip and that, so I'm doing it with him, and he's doing it with us, and they're doing it. And like now, it kind of feels like none of them gonna do it with us. Like these people, these wave of new people are coming in, and they're not gonna be like, they're gonna be like, oh fuck that, can I not go yet?
See, it's different for me because obviously I work by myself.
You've just got yourself to.
So
to
I
rely
can't
on.
really relate to you on that side of things. But I see where you're coming from. You do need to like fucking cut some corners and shit like that to all work together sometimes.
Yeah.
And it does benefit you at the end because you might finish early on the Fridays. Like, since you've all worked hard this week, you've all done brilliant, get yourself away maybe an hour too early than fucking expected. Yeah.
And again, don't get us wrong, because I'm saying it from my sort of generation. Well, I bet you said if you went back 200 and you put me in that timeline where you physically got to, go out there and, kill for your food, or you've got, I would probably sit there going, oh, why do I have to do that? Usually I just go to Asda. There'll be elements of the way I live that's thingy. But yeah, I thought, again, after what Adolescence didn't have to open up a lot of questions for me. It was a beautiful show. It was a haunting show. It was beautiful. But it just sort of opened. I just thought, how fucking mental is this younger generation gonna be?
I think as the generations get on, I think it's going to get worse.
Like, it feels like they demand more for doing less.
Yeah.
Like they'll go home after not doing too much, going, what a day I had, and you're going, you did fuck all. But like, it's just bizarre. I don't know if I'm talking shit. I don't know if I'm phrasing it all right. But I just feel odd about, like, I'm fucking sat there creaking every time I get out of bed and doing all that kind of thing, thinking, oh my God, I'm always in fucking pain and shit. And again, you should do what's right by you, of course you should. But I just always feel like the way out of work and that, you should always do what's best for your team and shit. I don't know, it's mental.
It is mental. Like I said, you ask, like I say, working better as a team is a lot. It should be better than working by yourself. But sometimes people just like making things harder for yourself. So it works out. Says, look, just leave, just fucking go. Let me just sort it out.
Yeah.
That's what I think, because it's just.
Like, there's a certain job at my spot where I've got details of what it is, where it's boring as fuck. It is so mind-numbingly boring. But when I first started here, if I got told to go do that job, I would do that job for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours until my manager said.
What you get paid to do. It's that job.
Yeah, but we sent one of the lads to go do it at our spot, and they did it for about 30 seconds, and they come out and said, oh, that's a bit shit doing that, isn't it? I'm thinking, well, I would have just been in there until whoever my higher ups are said, come out.
Yeah, it's going to be shit, but you're still going to do it.
Yeah, it just feels like there's...
Like I say, I have to clean my wagon every so often, and I fucking hate doing it because I'm fucking small, I can't reach.
Yeah.
So I've got to get the fucking ladder out.
Yeah, and you do all these steps.
And it's fucking annoying.
And I love, because obviously sometimes we have, you yourself as well, you got stupid like start times, and like some of the lads be like, oh, what time have you been in? I'll be saying that, I'm like, oh fuck that, I'm not doing that. I'm thinking, it's kind of required. If it's your turn, you kind of have to do it.
So I have to go in at fucking 3:30, 4 o'clock. I have to go in at 3:30, 4 o'clock.
And I don't know, there just feels like there's not they want to come in and just find like the easiest bits to do. And like, there's been like because some lads have been on holiday, we've had like a couple of weird shift patterns and that. And the lad come in today 11, he's doing like 11:70 type thing, which isn't, awful. It's not the end of the world. It's like, oh, bloody hard to get up for this, that, 11. I was nearly late. I was thinking, how the fuck can you be nearly late for 11 o'clock? I couldn't fathom my head around it. I was like, it's not fucking 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
I would never understand if... I've seen people be late or back shifts out there too, but I'm thinking, I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand why people like sleeping later when it comes to shifts like that.
Yeah, I can understand if you're starting at 4 and you're like, it's minging. I get it, because it's probably early hours. There is an element of...
It's fucking cold, it's dark, it's middle of the night.
Yeah, you're nice and cosy in bed and shit. I get that one. But yeah, I don't know, like I said, I feel like there's a slight mental weakness. And it's not going to be, don't get us wrong, there's going to be kids out there that are fucking, I'm speaking more privileged kids in sort of like America, UK, and there'll be kids over in fucking Haiti or some shit that are waking up after they've just had an earthquake and they're getting up and they're doing all the shit they need to do and they're doing all this kind of stuff. It's more like the Western world that's been made sort of like lazy and ish. And again, not all of them, there are exceptions to the rules and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if us as older generations, because we grew up, and again, as the times went on, they got harsher and easier and easier. So like, growing up in the 90s wasn't exactly the harshest time, but there was an element of harshness, and like certain environments might be a bit more embedded in you. But I feel like they grew up a lot more softer, if that makes sense. Like kids now are growing up a lot softer. That's not, they've got like in school and shit. Like, you don't feel scared of teachers, or you don't feel scared of really repercussion. You're like, I can get away with what I want. So they're like. Whereas I was growing up, there was kind of like, oh fuck that, if I don't do this, I might get fucking hiding, like kind of shit.
Yeah, it's kind of went weirdly in the opposite direction, where teachers are now scared of some pupils, because some pupils nowadays will just fucking kick off and fucking do whatever.
Yeah, everybody wants to be happy and grow up all nice and kind of safe and that. But I just don't know if it's either the way we grew up or how we did it, or like there'll be times when I was growing up and you'd be out fucking just wandering like the fucking woods and all that kind of shit. And maybe you and your mates would just fucking, we're just all dirty and mean and horrible. We'd just sleep under the fucking trees, under the stars for a bit, and then
it's what the whole point of growing up was about.
Yeah.
And like I said, nowadays they get caught climbing a tree, they get fucking demolished by some fucking hippie.
I don't know if anything I've said made sense or not.
I see where you're coming from.
I might have phrased it all bad.
I do see where you're coming from. As that generations are going on, they're becoming more lazy, they're becoming fucking...
A lot more cuddled.
Yes.
Which is, again, I want people to be love and cuddled,
yes.
But I feel like...
Kids nowadays, they're all bubbled.
Yeah, if you take like 100 kids that were born 10 years ago and you said, right, go work in a farm or whatever 200 years ago...
I think that's why kids the way they are now is because they've been bubbled by parents. It's just when they get out of that bubble and into school or into work and shit like that, it's like, no.
Yeah, it's kind of like, they're just, I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know, I just find it...
Yeah, but it won't be fucking happening with me.
Yeah, because I feel like there just has to be a perfect balance of when you need to be harsh, you need to be harsh, but then also, show them they've got trust and respect, and they can rely on you and shit. But if you need to be out there shoveling the shit, there's a lot of I think that's a good way of phrasing it. A lot of people now that I see don't want to start from shoveling the shit. They want to be at the top already, and it's like, well, no, you need to earn. Yeah, you need to work your way up. Yeah, and I feel like you benefit a hell of a lot more when you're down, because it's nice when I go to work now. How long I've been there, I go in, I can sort of do what I want, and you can give a couple of people jobs and all that kind of shit. Yeah. Because when I started, it was, what do you need done? What should I do?
No, that's it. That's how it's supposed to be. You work your way up. I'm the same. Like I said, I went van driver, went more to truck driver, and I'm basically kind of supervisor-ish.
Yeah, and now you've shoveled the shit, and then it should get slightly better.
Yeah, I help train people. I go through shit with other people. I talk to other drivers about problems and shit like that. So it's. Yeah, you work your way up, so it makes sense to work your way up.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to be. But like I said, people nowadays, they just want to be up top. They just want to earn the money and just fucking sit back and do now.
Yeah, 100%. I just find it odd.
We're getting old.
A lot of it is that, without a shadow of a doubt, part of it is that it's just old people being like, oh, you bloody kids, you don't know how hard you had it. And again, the people that come before us would say the same to me and you. Say, oh, you think you've got it? Well, fucking, we have to do it. And the people before them would say to them.
Yeah, back in my day, well, not too. Oh, it can't.
Yeah, shit like that. And just...
Well, we had COVID.
we had to sit inside. Come on, we had to sit inside in the comfort of our house. Come on.
I didn't. I worked.
I got a week and a half off. Loads of people in my work got 6 months to 7 to 8, and I'm thinking, oh my god, they were coming back saying, oh, I've got to come back. I'm thinking, fuck, I got a week and a half of just hardly any staff.
It was brilliant. The roads were fucking dead.
What? Brilliant. Are they having a fucking rave in there?
I think they are.
You shut up. I think he called me a blind yogurt. Did he call me? Did he play a blind? Don't play money talks. I'm trying to fucking do a fucking video. See what I mean? That there. If my uncle said to me, "Shut the fuck up," I'd have been, "Oh, sorry." He's just told me. I think he called me a blind yogurt.
What the fuck's a blind yogurt?
I might have probably heard him wrong. What are they fucking doing in there?
I don't know.
Will you shut up?
Oh, what pussy.
See what I mean?
Liam wants a drink.
That's 100%. 100%.
Speaking to this cheap little bastard.
This is all on audio as well. You know what I mean? No.
Liam wants a drink.
Right, we'll left of something else.
You should give him half of yours.
Okay.
Stop eating all my chocolates, please.
No, your chocolates.
See what I mean? This is oh my god. When I finished Adolescence and when you get to it, he 110% popped in my head. Do you know what incel means?
No.
Oh, you don't? No. Are you actually taking a while up? Do you know what 80-20 means?
No.
See, maybe it's the generation. Because what, are you 16?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's the ones underneath him, because the ones in the show, they're still in school and that, and I think they're like 8, 9 or something like that. I think the young lad's 13.
Oh, that's my lot. Too many of that one.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I don't know.
That's far what? Oh, Jesus Christ. And obviously, as well, because obviously that's not my fucking kid, that's my nephew. I'm not going to fucking tell somebody else how to fucking raise their kid, but what the fuck is going on in life?
I don't know.
I was trying earlier today to see if I could break my own arm.
Why?
Just if you, as hard as you can, try and push it out. Do you reckon you could break your own arm?
I don't know.
Like just,
my bones are sore as it
you know,
is,
if you
so-
is hard as you
Yeah.
fucking can, I feel like eventually I could break my own arm, and it kind of feels a bit minging.
Why do you want to break your own arm?
I just want to know if is it one of them things where your body would stop you doing it? Like, would your body be like, no, we're not? It's kind of like
it's like when you bite your tongue. When you try and forcefully bite your tongue, you don't feel pain, but when you
yeah, you're right. I don't know. I just thought, is there a way you could break your own fucking arm?
I don't know.
I don't recommend it, but nobody try it, obviously.
Running in front of the truck. I don't know.
You could, that way. But I was just like, I wonder if you just did it hard enough, your arm would just, because if you did it one day, it'd be I'd be sick. You'd be like, oh, how have you done this? I did it myself, just trying to hyperextend. Is that what it'd be called? Hyperextend my arm.
Probably.
Type shit like that. Fuck knows. Mental as fuck, mate. Yeah, right. Yeah, just go. Ideally, if you can, that is, because I know you got other shit to watch and whatever. But ideally, by next weekend, you can have Adolescence watched, and we can have a good breakdown and discussion.
Yeah, but it's. I will give it a watch. How many episodes?
There's only 4, but it says limited series as well. Does that usually mean it's only on for a little bit?
Yeah.
I will say as well, Ashley Walters. I don't know if you know who he is.
Yeah.
He does a lot of like. Top boy and stuff. He's a beautiful human being. He's gorgeous. He's probably jacked in this. I didn't realise he was this jacked, and I was like semi on 100%.
Okay.
He's a gorgeous man.
I'll try and watch it the weekend then.
Yeah, it's like I said, that last episode's just. There's just so many. Like, you end the show, and I don't want to talk about how good the show was, even though every episode's one take and it's fucking flawless. I wanted to talk more about the psychological side of it all, and like the meanings of how society is and how this works, and what's happening for the future. Because again, Stephen Graham, there was 2 young girlies that died at opposite ends of the country. I can't remember exactly when. That's what like massively inspired him to make the show. And he wanted to get down to like the root causes. He was on Jimmy Fallon or whatever the other day speaking about it, and which must have been mad hearing a Scouser on an American talk show. And the Americans must have been like, "What the fuck's he saying?" Yeah. They must have been a bit. Don't get, he's not.
Translate, please.
Yeah, I think there's. When I watched his interview, I think he's trying to speak a little bit slower and clearer because he's not as. Yeah, so I did the show me's. Yeah. He's talking a bit more like that, and you think, okay, he's a little bit. Right, yeah. So we've got to go check it out. What the fuck is that?
Kicking like a bat, you know.
Yeah, like kids nowadays, though, especially him.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not him actually. The kids nowadays, there's more mental issues and all that shit, though.
There 100% is an increase in that, and
I think sexuality is involved a hell of a lot. To be fair,
how do you mean?
it's different sexualities nowadays.
Oh, you mean like what people identify as and whatnot?
Yeah. I don't think that helps.
So I don't know how to answer that. I love, because listen, right, I'm on the side of the fence.
Don't get me wrong, you can be gay, straight, bi, whatever, but throwing it into kids is not the best way to go forward. I personally think.
Yeah.
Let kids just fucking
let them be themselves
let them
for a
grow
while.
up. Let them figure out who they are in their own way. Don't force shit onto them. I think that's what the problem is.
I massively agree with you there. In terms of, as long as they get...
You've got a mind of an 11-year-old. Am I straight? Do I like boys? Do I like girls? Am I supposed to have a willy? Why she got boobs and I don't? Kind of situation. It's like, yeah, it's all fucking weird.
Yeah, I understand. As long as they get to the end, listen, if somebody goes through all that and they get to the end conclusion that they want to be a certain way, then that's fair enough.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. As long as they still get out of school and they do the shit and they still want to be that way, crack on, because they should live life how they want to live. Mm-hmm. Do I need to go shout at these kids?
It's the first time, but you can't see kids nowadays.
Which in itself is good.
It is good.
But there needs to be that element of fear.
Saying that though, I do give my nephews fucking not my niece. I'm too soft with my niece. She fucking yeah. My nephews, I will give them a slap around the head.
That is a huge talking point from adolescence about the soft parent. There's a huge bit you'll pick up on.
That's the problem I'm gonna have. I think.
That's when you're ready.
That's the problem I think I'm gonna have.
Yeah.
With the girls. Boys, they say raising boys is different to raising girls. And like I say, as an uncle to have nieces and nephews, I get that. I see where it's coming from. Because I am a lot softer with the niece than I am with the boys.
Yeah, I can see it as well. But I don't know if it's because we're coming from a men's point of view. From a men's point of view, it feels like you can be more like, yeah, Charlie, fucking sort your shit out, and you could sort of, but when it goes, oh, don't worry, Suzanne. Don't think there's a girl called Suzanne in there. I've never seen a little girl ever called Suzanne. I think it's all old women just being like, oh, it's okay, don't worry, darling, just go sit upstairs and, you know, whatever. Yeah. But yeah, what you're saying before, I think there's certain questions you probably shouldn't ask kids. I'm glad that they live in a world where they can grow older and they can live a life of how they want to be. I will never, whether you agree with it or not.
Let them figure it out themselves.
That's what I'm saying. Let them be the kids, and then once they're getting older through, you know, secondary school and getting out there and going through college, you go, actually, I think I feel this way. I crack on. You do you. But before that, primary, let them just sit and, you know, just eat crayons or whatever.
Yeah, because I think most way through secondary school, I'd say once you've hit puberty and all that shit, that's when they get to know who themselves are mainly.
Yeah.
Obviously, going from our own point of views. Once I hit puberty, I kind of knew who I was. I was in that certain group. I was that type of person. Blah, 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 blah. So I was a bit of a grab and fucking baggy shit. I listened to rock music. I was part of that Grebo gang.
Yeah.
So that was kind of me. Because I obviously grew into that, and obviously it's the same with kids. You let kids grow up to be whatever side of the street they need to be on.
Which is quite good as well because there's phases. Because there'll be people that, well, when I was in school, I had long hair and I listened to rock music. And I grew out of that. There will be people that have phases because throughout your life, you're definitely going through phases.
You do go through shitload of phases, and you still do going through, as adults and whatever else, you still go through phases.
Yeah. So nothing's fully decided at that moment in time.
No.
So I like I said, I'm happy we live in a world where people can, live how they want to live because that's what you should do. You only get one life. Don't let me tell you how to live it. But as you go through life, it should be certain moments and should be stuff that you come to normally instead of telling you how you should feel. You should let the kids do your kids, teach them, whatever they're going to learn to get them ready for life, and as they get through life.
Yeah, teach them sex education the safe way, blah blah blah. But I would keep out the fucking million different sexualities because that just fucking fuses their little brains. They're not interested in fucking sexuality at the age of 10,
I wouldn't
11.
imagine so. Yeah, I wouldn't have imagined it.
No.
I'm speaking for me. I wasn't.
I wasn't at 10, 11, no.
No chance. I wanted to fucking just carry on swapping Pokemon cards and stuff.
Well, that's it. And like I say, again, once they got into secondary, puberty, that's when they started, I won't say experimenting, but that's when they started getting to know their own body and shit like that. Then maybe when they got after that age, then talk about it, but not when the fucking crayon munchers.
Yeah. It's just that's the time you should be dumb and just fucking playing Thomas the Tank Engine and shit like that.
Yeah.
Proper dumb stuff. Yeah, like I said, all these conversations and thoughts that flow from watching that show.
Like I said, I'll give it a watch at the weekend.
It's fucking, the ending will absolutely cripple you because there's a massive question I want to ask, but I won't ask till you're done. But I did a solo video all about it on my
Well,
TAD.
you can ask me the question. Is it part of the program?
Yeah, it's because
I said you could ask me the question, and then I'll try and answer it, and then you can maybe re-ask me the question, and then once I've watched it,
it's obvious the question. Once you get halfway through, when you start it, it's not obvious. Fucking dog's just eating fucking Milky Way wrapper. He's not eating it. Don't worry, visuals. He's just chewing it. The dog loves rubbish. See, when I go upstairs with a packet of crisps, as soon as it's done, he just wants to take it off and just destroy it. Fucking weird little bastard.
See, in your way, he's like your child, so you're too soft on him.
100%, without a shadow of a doubt. If I started a dog training company, never ever employ me because the way I train dogs is let them be happy, do what they want. That is not the way you should train dogs and shit. And I cannot agree more with you there, Chris. I just can't fucking help it. But the same thing though, dogs are built with a level of respect because again, if I shout at him or if I go, "Watch this," they sit there in the cow and okay, and you're like, "Oh, you got grandma's slipper again." It's like that built-in respect sort of thing. When they're more respectful than fucking human teenagers, which is just fucking nuts. Yeah, we'll end it talking about that shit anyway because it was a phenomenal show. Highly recommend it. It's just got a lot of questions about future and who's to blame and what's this and what does this mean. And if you can, try and notice loads of shit about the young lad of the way he says shit, mannerisms, talking, all that kind of stuff. Especially when you get to the scene, and you'll know what I'm on about, just where it's just him and the psychologist. Because there was a thing that they did at the start of that, and I knew that somehow it was going to come into play. It doesn't tell you. You've got to pick it up on yourself. And I think because I love talking about the psychology of why certain. That's why I spoke to you last week about like the mind of like murderers and shit and how they work and why they feel that way in certain. And it's like that shit.
Well, when it
I
comes
love
to,
how that
when
works.
it comes to murderers but not just murderers and rapists, fucking pedophiles, all that stuff, it's more of like they've had it in the past.
Trauma response type thing.
Yeah, obviously they must have suffered with sexual abuse when they were younger, or they were witness to murder or fucking whatever in the past. So that's why they do it now.
Yeah.
That's what the most mind of most people go off nowadays. People who bring up a living normal life, who end up being fucking evil monsters.
Yeah,
it's either money involved and they get bored, or they're just fucking.
Yeah, that always
wrong in the head.
baffles me about how you had a normal life, but yet you went around, you've killed 50 people. So what's going on in your head, like thought process, like it's quite a good example. Muse is coming up in Daredevil, a crazy villain. I think I brought him up last week, where he just wants to murder because he doesn't see humans as anything but canvases for art. So like somebody in the head of that, it's like, what are you thinking there to go, that's just a meat sack that I can do a painting with? Like, why are you thinking that? Like, what's not, when you were born, what's not been wired up right? And I don't know how dark the show will go showing that, but you saw a little bit in this episode of him not doing shit, just sort of saw him and a victim, which is a great villain to bring into the MCU, because it's like, when have we really had mental, and the fact that this is the world with Frank Castle and shit, where it's just... but yeah, so just watch it.
I will do.
I don't know if any of what I said made sense. I don't know if I articulated it correctly, but I just feel like there's a weird missing sort of thing there of laziness or entitlement kind of shit.
I get what you mean, and I'm sure the viewers will do as well. We get what you mean. I think we're all on the same level. I don't know how old our viewers are watching this, but I'm sure they won't be far off our age.
I think he probably do.
So I think they can understand the same situation as we're in, either being parents themselves or aunties or uncles or whatever.
We're starting off talking about my fucking ice cream van. I'll try and end it on a quick happy note and say, obviously, a massive monumental moment for Newcastle fans. Ending 70 years without a trophy. Oh my God, mate, what a day to be a Newcastle fan. What a weird... Fuck me, I ripped the shit out of my nails. We were playing fucking Liverpool, one of the best teams in the world right now. And Liverpool... It was a combination of we got our tactics and everything absolutely spot on, but Liverpool were dog shit. Mo Salah had 3 touches in the second half, arguably the best player in the world. 3 touches. We ended the first half with 9 shots. They had 1. That never happens against Newcastle Liverpool.
Did they change tactics? Did they change the
I think there was a
formation?
bit of a mentality thing, because in midweek they'd gone to extra time and penalties against PSG and got knocked out in penalties. So I think there was a bit of a... And it's quite smart, Eddie, how we played Liverpool not long ago at Anfield and lost 2-0. And then he come out of this interview and said we deliberately played a different way at Anfield than we would today.
Yeah.
Just to throw Liverpool off a bit. And I thought, do you know what? I know we lost at Anfield, which I don't mind if you lose every fucking season. I fucking love that. But it was... I've seen loads of videos of, because it's 70 years. Imagine how many, what's 3 generations of Newcastle fans that haven't seen a trophy lift. And I saw a man who was a young boy who saw the original 1955 FA Cup lift to now of how old he was and shit. And I'm thinking, this is a beautiful story for the people that, wear the black and white.
Yeah.
And the lad that scored first was Dan Burn, a Geordie boy, who literally got released when he was 11-year-old from Newcastle, and they had a full story coming back, scoring for them and all this. And I honestly, mate, I was in fucking tears. I was happy. Oh, it was beautiful, mate. It was absolutely beautiful. And again, the Liverpool and Newcastle have got no hate between each other. The amount of respect and love after the game was just phenomenal. But even at kickoff, there was I will always be pessimistic when it comes to Newcastle. I always expect the worst. But there was an odd feeling of, we want this more. Joe Linton, I know you don't know who Joe Linton is. Though we met him in Newcastle, we'll walk past when we went to years ago. He was slide tackling and challenging and running for balls. When do you cheer on a football pitch?
When you get the ball, I suppose.
Right.
When you go.
Yeah, when you score, you cheer. He would be committing tackles in our end of the field, just winning a throw-in and cheering to fuck like it meant everything, which was riling our fans up. And I was like, what a fucking lion and warrior you are. He'll get a tackle and come on, and it's like, this is it, this is gonna happen, this is our fucking, this is our, and it just felt, I'll get fucking nipples and everything now. It was, I don't know, it was just it was a beautiful bit of overall storytelling in the game for me. Yeah. And it was just, and Liverpool have got Premier League to lift in a few weeks' time. They're not fucking too heartbroken. But yeah, it was fucking out of this world. Even at full time, I was like, I don't know if this is real. We've won a trophy. We've won a... Newcastle are very much always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Yeah. And it was just...
Well, at least you've won something.
Yeah. We've finally done it. We got the
70 years later.
I know, 70 years, mate. Our first time we scored a goal at Wembley in 20 years.
Is it?
Yeah. And it was scored by a fucking Geordie, which just makes it even better. But yeah, we'll end it on that note anyway. Visuals. I've got a sick little edit I can show you actually, which I've been watching on. There's so many Newcastle fans on social media saying stuff that do, and since the final they've just been watching the highlights and repeats and all this kind of shit because they're still in. Anybody from Newcastle on that Monday were not going to work. They were not going to fucking work at all. But yeah, we'll leave it there. That was a fucking upside down here, there, every fucking where rambly fucking meant what the fuck is happening in life.
What is going on?
What the fuck is going on in life? But anyway, visuals, thank you for listening. And yeah, whatever Chris said before about just let us know fucking how you feel about it all and whatnot. But Rebels, keep it on.
And as always, people, just live life, be yourself, be happy. Love you, bye.
I like that ending.